Hey everybody, welcome to our next team analysis. This will be on the Butterfree team that I just used this past week. And I'm going to talk about kind of the main core of it, a little bit about the Pokemon I used, like the supporting cast of it. And also, then I'm going to go into detail about what I'm going to be using for this next week. Because I will go ahead and keep using this core poke team, the core of the team, but I'm going to also change it up to something that's I think will suit it a little better. So we'll talk more about that. And yeah, so let's get into the analysis guide for you guys. So starting off, the Pokemon I wanted to start kind of build around, but really wanted to utilize was Butterfree. I went through a couple different builds with this. One was like a Quiver Dance tinted lens set, but in the end I opted for the support compound eye set for Sleep Powder, Rage Powder support, and which I think it's just Butterfree by itself is really good like that, even without the Gigantamax. So I wanted to utilize it that way, but also still maybe have the option to at times Gigantamax it and just go for befuddle shenanigans. So anyways, the Butterfree build here ended up pretty standard, I would say. Like Focus Sash, max speed, max special attack, timid nature, just so you're being as fast as possible, because getting off fast Sleep Powders is always a plus. And then Rage Powder redirects and Pollen Puff for damage, but also is a healing move for your partner. So the main goal of Butterfree is to lead it with Bronzong and to just Rage Powder and get knocked out, and then set up Trick Room and then allow your next Pokemon to come in. So sometimes though, if you're like faster than what they send out and there's not much stopping it, you can put them to sleep and set up Trick Room, which is pretty sweet. And then a couple times when I face like really slow teams, like other slow teams where I don't necessarily want to get up Trick Room, and I just felt like going for the G Max Befuddle, I would Gigantamax and then go for it. So yeah, so I wanted to feature the Gigantamax form. This set isn't really good for that. Like I said, I think a Quiver Dancing tinted lens set would be good in the future. I think I'm gonna wait until Friendguard Clefairy comes out and then maybe build that in the future. But nonetheless, Butterfree actually is quite a good support Pokemon, so I enjoyed it. So anyway, so that's the set there, but really straightforward to just support the team and get off Sleep Powders. So, and then next up is the Trick Room setter of the team, that is Bronzong. And Bronzong I think is a really cool Trick Room setter because it's got some good support moves, good typing, good defense. So with this set in particular, I wanted to be able to set up Trick Room in the face of like almost anything, and so with Rage Powder, I was able to redirect like Dark and Ghost type moves that can be really prevalent that could threaten it. So, the one thing that I couldn't do was deal with Whimsicott Charizard, like because of Heat Wave. So that's why I opted for the Aqua Berry, and I gave it enough special defense that it could actually live a -2. Like if Whimsicott Fake Tears my Bronzong, I could actually live a Heat Wave with the Aqua Berry. I could also live like a Heat Wave in the sun if they go for Sunny Day, Heat Wave. So it can even take a Max Flare. I don't remember if it was in the sun. It might, but you have to check that out. But it basically the only way Charizard Whimsicott stops Trick Room is with Switcheroo Eject Button or Taunt, because Rage Powder can't redirect Whimsicott, of course. So that was the reasoning behind that. If I had Togekiss and then that could do it, then this set would literally be able to set up Trick Room in front of any Whimsicott Charizard that they set up, barring a critical hit or something. So, and then let's see, Gyro Ball was its main stab move that also was used mainly to proc Rhyperior's weakness policy, but also it's a good move against faster threats. Heavy Slam was considered, but the reason I didn't go for it is because you can't Heavy Slam Dynamax Pokemon, which means I couldn't Heavy Slam my own Rhyperior. So I stuck with Gyro Ball. Body Press was just kind of a move for general damage when Gyro Ball isn't doing a lot, because since for those of you that don't know, Body Press calculates its damage based on your defense stat, not your attack stat. And Bronzong has a much higher defense stat than its attack, and running a Relaxed Nature with 156 defense EVs gives it a pretty high defense stat. So Body Slam or Body Press actually is doing some pretty decent damage stuff that doesn't resist it. And in fact, it hits Rhyperior harder than Gyro Ball, so that's actually kind of nice to have. And then Trick Room, obviously, gotta have Trick Room on Bronzong when you're running a Trick Room team. And then, let's see, Hypnosis, so I ran Hypnosis on my Bronzong on the channel. I'm switching it to Power Swap because Hypnosis is a really good move that keeps Bronzong from being passive because it just sits there and starts throwing out Hypnosis. But if I want to also try out Power Swap some, because Power Swap's a really neat move to counter things like Belly Drum Snorlax or even Weakness Policy Rhyperior, where you can take their boost and use it for yourself or give it to like your partner that could utilize it. So like, in fact, we faced a team that did this to me where they Power Swapped my Rhyperior, and that allowed their Gastrodon to like hang on with a Sliver at one point and set up Trick Room, and then they gave their Power Swap to their Gastrodon and it recovered, and then like they were able to like pull the game back from literally a sliver of health. So Power Swap's a really neat move with all the boosting that are running around. The downside is it takes away like a move from Bronzong that could be really nice, but you know, Hypnosis isn't a reliable move. I don't want to. It sucks to have to rely on it, and it's really easy to want to just go for Hypnosis when I probably should just be going for damage. So at the same time, like that's why I like Body Press, because it lets Bronzong do pretty decent damage to most stuff. So yeah, so that's Bronzong, and then the Trick Room sweeper, or just the Trick Room threat of the team was Rhyperior, which, let me tell you, Rhyperior is super strong in this format with the weakness policy, its bulk and Dynamax. It's so good. So weakness policy again can get activated by my own Bronzong's Gyro Ball, which is really scary, and then I can just press like Earthquake because I have Pokemon I can Earthquake next to. Or if I Dynamax, I just start boosting up my my lower special defense with max Rock Falls or max Quakes. So yeah, so the EV spread here is one I found online, and I was looking through it, and I guess mainly the defense and HP survives the Dracovish Vicious Rend when you Dynamax. So that's what I was going with. Overall, I ended up wanting to build my own spread, so you can see at the bottom of underneath the set, I have a different EV spread that I kind of came up with myself. I'd rather just go all into into its special defense and HP, or at least most of it, because its special defense is so low, and I wanted to boost it up as much as possible. And then once I start getting boosts from my max moves, and then it's just like really bulky. So I kind of just went with a set that could deal with Gastrodon a little better. So the attack EVs allows it to Oko Gastrodon with a +2 max Quake, like pretty much any Gastrodon. And then I can take Scald. I can take 2. I think I made it so I take, without Dynamaxing, I can take 2 Scalds from a max special attack Gastrodon with both Sand and a +1 up, which is very doable because I can set those up like maybe before Gastrodon comes in or something. So, and then 0 speed because I want to be as slow as possible in Trick Room. And then I'm sticking with an Adamant Nature. I was thinking about it. As far for mirror matches, I kind of want to be faster, because then when Trick Room's up, they attack first, hitting my weakness policy, and then I KO them back if they hit my weakness policy. So that's kind of what I was going for there, which I think there's a lot of situations where that would be really handy, and so I don't mind not being min speed. I would like to deal with that. So, and then for moves, I just went with High Horsepower, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Protect. I think, just the ground rock combo has really good coverage, and I like having the spread Earthquake, especially when I have so many partners I can Earthquake next to. Like, that's why I really like Bronzong with Rhyperior, because of Levitate. And then also I still have the single target High Horsepower if I need it. But between ground and rock moves, like that's usually all Rhyperior needs, unless the team really needs some coverage. But I was pretty happy with Earthquake. I love being able to just sit there and press Earthquake, especially if I got +2. So, okay, and next, so these are the Pokemon that I used on the channel, which, originally I put them together just like, oh, I want to try this out, oh, I need this, oh, I'm weak to Mudsdale, let's just throw on a Dracovish with Destroy Scarf so I won't even set up Trick Room. Because originally I was trying to go for like more of a hybrid mode, But it didn't really end up that way, because when I'm using Butterfree, Bronzong, Rhyperior, it's going to be a lot of Trick Room. So anyways, I went with Grimmsnarl because I wanted to help, a way to help the Trick Room, not the Trick Room, the Whimsicott Charizard matchup, because it was iffy even with the Akaberry, because I had Rage Powder and not Follow Me. So I wanted the Fake Out support, I wanted Thunder Wave for more speed control, and then this is where I ran Power Swap to test it out, because Prankster Power Swap is pretty cool. But I don't think it really got, I think I did use it a little bit. It did help me win at least one game. And then Play Rough for damage and Adamant Grimmsnarl with the Citrus Berry. So it was alright. I brought it a lot because it just mixed better with the Trick Room mode. But really, Grimmsnarl's not doing enough damage or enough of anything under Trick Room with its moveset. So I think this is a cool Grimmsnarl set, but not one I'd use on this team. I think it'd be better suited for another team that needed this kind of stuff. So Rotom, I just needed a Fire type and a Will-O-Wisper, which I rarely brought Rotom. Dracovish I think I brought to one game, which was nice because it pressured a Chandelure, but it was mainly to like deal with Mudsdale. Teams that were using Mudsdale to deal with Trick Room. So, but it's a pretty one-dimensional Pokemon. So, but this is what I was using. Like I said, it wasn't the best supporting cast when the team ended up wanting to be all Trick Room. So I'm going to kind of talk about what I will use for this next week for the team, and how I think it will, what I think will be best for it, and how I'm picturing using it. So, okay, so I think Torkoal is really good for this team like this, because Torkoal and Rhyperior have really good synergy together. Because one, Torkoal can weaken water type moves with its Drought ability for Rhyperior, and then it's just it's a good Trick Room Pokemon sweeper, because like you get it in with eruptions, like setting off eruptions. I think it can be scary, especially if Butterfree goes down turn 1. I can probably just bring in Torkoal, start spamming eruption until I can get Rhyperior in to kind of then clean up the weakened team. So with this Torkoal, I couldn't decide between an Assault Vest set or a Charcoal set. I think both have their merits, because Charcoal obviously is more damage and it gives you access to Protect, which is really cool. Assault Vest though I like because it allows me to run one extra coverage move like Earth Power, which also really helps Torkoal in the mirror against other Torkoal, because I can take, if they have Earth Power, I can take Earth Power a lot better, or even their eruptions a lot better, and hit them back with my own Earth Power at the cost of like less damage for my fire moves, and I don't get Protect. Also with the Assault Vest, it makes Torkoal a pretty good Dynamax Pokemon, because now it's like really bulky when it Dynamaxes. It can fire off some big max flares when the sun, or max overgrowth, max quakes, boosts special defense even more. So big torque is good. I've seen it used and I really like it. And then Quiet Nature, minimum speed. That's how you want to run Torkoal, just slow, because it's got like base 20 speed. So really, but yeah. So I'm gonna go with an Assault Vest set, but I wanted to just show you guys that you could try Charcoal and Protect on it, because I think that could be still really useful. But you know, I just wanted to try out some different stuff and see what, and you won't know until you practice with a team. Just like with the Butterfree team, I didn't know how bad the rest of the team was until I practiced with it, so that's really important. Next, I'm changing up the Prankstermon into Sableye, because I think this is still really helpful, but it's a lot better, because Thunder Wave doesn't help the team so much because the team's so slow. But Quash, however, is it's a really good speed control move, especially with the Trick Room team. Because those that don't know, Quash, you Quash an opponent, and they're guaranteed to move very last in the team, and regardless of priority. So like, I could also do something like lead Sableye Bronzong and quash the threat to Bronzong, and then Trick Room will actually go off before they attack. If I remember this correctly, it could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. They quash it, the Trick Room goes off, and then they attack. And what could be kind of cool about that is like, they end up knocking out Bronzong after it sets up Trick Room, and then I get the free switch. And now I have Sableye and my Trick Room Pokemon set up, and and that's kind of why I'm going with Foul Play on Sableye, so it can still like threaten some damage under Trick Room, because it's already pretty naturally slow. You could run a slower one, but I just kind of use this because it's what I had. I have the Eye of Papa Berry because I didn't really have any other idea of what item to run. I honestly considered Wide Lens because I hate Will-O-Wisp missing, and if I can hit it 10% more of the time, that's worth it to me. But yeah, or maybe like some other item plus Trick. So there's there's a whole host of like ideas with Sableye, so I just went with an Eye Papa Berry, and like I said, Will-O-Wisp mainly to burn Mudsdale. So Mudsdale's a pain, and then obviously any physical attacker like a Rhyperior. Yeah, so I already talked about Quash. The last move is pretty up in the air. You can do like Ally Switch, Fake Out, Taunt, Trick, Helping Hand, has Encore, Disable. There's so many moves Sableye gets. It's so hard to pick. You just kind of have to play with the team and see what would be better. Ally Switch felt like a good general move because it's just good for digging out of holes, or yeah, that's just what I'm thinking about that. But I was also considering Trick and maybe like tricking my Eye Papa Berry onto my other Pokemon if it needs a new berry or something, or like it'd be kind of cool to activate the weakness policy, or get the weakness policy activated on Rhyperior, then trick the Eye Papa Berry onto it, and now it's house the berry to support it more. But yeah, it's up in the air. But I'm gonna run with Ally Switch and the Eye Papa Berry, but that could change in the future. So, and then Fake Out and Taunt are always good moves. But yeah, so that's Sableye. Oh, and almost forgot. The big reason for Sableye is to also lead against Charizard Whimsicott if I don't feel like Bronzong Butterfree will work. Because like I said, there's a couple, because Rage Powder doesn't redirect Whimsicott, there's a couple Whimsicotts that could stop the Trick Room, whether it's Taunt or Switch for Eject button. So one idea is I could lead like Sableye with Rhyperior and quash the Charizard and then just Max Rockfall it. So that's the thought there. But that's Sableye, super disruptive and really fun to use, honestly. Oh, and the EV spread is, I just went with max special defense because I figured I'll be Will-O-Wisping stuff that threatens the defense, and so that kind of makes sense for that. Alright, finally, the last Pokemon was kind of tough, and I decided to go with Lapras because Lapras is a Pokemon I've been testing around right now on different teams, and I think it's a really neat Pokemon, even though it's like weak to Rock, but I like it because if it can deal with something like Gastrodon really well, and really a lot of water types that are really threatening, like Dracovish. Dracovish gets bodied by Lapras so hard. Gyarados is pretty good, or it's gonna get pretty good against Gyarados, even though it gets access to Power Whip now. So Freeze Dry is a really cool move, and I kind of built this Lapras to be more of a akin Dynamax, so it has special attack investment, and that special attack 2-hit KOs non-Dynamax, Assault Vest, the Mudsdale if it has no special defense investment, if it's just HP. So that was kind of the idea of that, because I wanted to help against Mudsdale and Gastrodon specifically, and Lapras should hopefully do that. And then for the last two moves, there's three moves that have options, so Ice Shard, Parasong, and Protect. Ice Shard's really nice for picking off weakened stuff, or breaking sashes, or activating my own Rhyperior's weakness policy. That's the thought there. Parasong's a good move if you get up like a 3-2 lead, or it can also be really nice against certain setups, like Snorlax, because now if they set up Belly Drum and I Parasong, they only get so many turns, or if I can Parasong a turn they Dynamax, and now they have to decide on that last turn of Dynamax, do they want to switch out and lose their last turn of Dynamax, or lose their Pokemon after it Dynamaxes. So just depends. It's situational, but I think it could be kind of a neat move. And then of course Protect. Protect can go over any one of Ice Shard or Parasong, but I want to try Ice Shard and Parasong, so I'll go without Protect for now and see how it goes. But yeah, so that's Lapras. And then, the HP and defense EVs with the Relaxed Nature, it takes 2 Rock Slides from Max Attack Rhyperior, non-Dynamax of course, so, or at least it has a really good chance to, and which I thought was pretty useful. But Rhyperior's Max Rockfall still OHKOs, that's kind of a problem. But I wanted the Lapras to be a Dynamax option as well, so, and this one definitely is. Okay, so for general leads, definitely Butterfree Bronzong is going to be the go-to lead, like majority of the time, because you just want to set up Trick Room and then get in Rhyperior or Torkoal, depending on the situation, to start blasting through the team. And Butterfree does that really well by redirecting attacks for Bronzong, and then it can put stuff to sleep if it needs to. It's just a whole host of things. So, but typically it'll be like lead Butterfree Bronzong, Rage Powder, Trick Room. Hopefully Butterfree goes down, because it's so frail, it's more likely to, and then you can get in Torkoal or Rhyperior or something. Hopefully Torkoal can just come in and start pressing Eruption. But if you have to bring in Rhyperior, then you can Dynamax, Gyro Ball your Rhyperior, and start firing off Max Rockfalls or Max Quakes. So, but yeah, that's the most basic lead you'll be doing. And then, like I talked about it earlier, but sometimes I want to lead Sableye where Butterfree's not the best bring, or Rage Powder's not the best option. And what's cool about Sableye is I don't necessarily have to get up Trick Room right away. I can just start quashing stuff and doing damage. So my idea is to like lead Sableye and then either one of my more offensive Pokemon or more damaging Pokemon like Rhyperior, Torkoal, or Lapras, and then just start quashing the threat and taking it out. So like against Charizard or Whimsicott, lead Sableye, Rhyperior, quash the Charizard, and then like Dynamax, and then quash the Charizard, and Max Rockfall the Charizard. And so that's one option. What else? And the cool thing about Sableye is like Whimsicott has Taunt. It can't taunt Sableye because it's a Dark type. Or I could like lead Sableye Torkoal and quash something and Eruption. Or yeah, there's just a number of options with Sableye, which is cool. And like I said, another always like Sableye Bronzong I feel like is a possible option with quash Trick Room or quash something. So that's kind of the thought there. And then obviously you can always get off Will-O-Wisp, but yeah, so that's the team and what I'm thinking about. It's hard to talk about exactly what this new version of the team is going to do because I have to play it out, but I wanted to talk about like at least my thoughts on it so you guys can see how I'm thinking about it, and now we'll put it into practice and see how well that actually happens. So anyways, so finally here's the team rental code if you guys want to try it out as well while I'm using it this week. And yeah, and then like think about, and if you guys think about what would be better, and I'm going to be doing the same thing, like maybe I should run this on this, like maybe Perish Song isn't very helpful on Lapras and I'd rather just have Protect or something, or maybe Torkoal needs Protect and not the Assault Vest, but you know, just play around with it. I'll be doing that and talking about it and maybe making changes every, like, or maybe make a change halfway through or something. So but anyways guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll keep trying to do videos like this in the future, and as I keep using different Pokemon as well. So okay guys, have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Alright, see ya.